Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got these two guys here with me for a quick comparison review. We're gonna check it out the Montosa right over here up against the Cuatro. These are two offerings from CRKT. And they are both designed by Richard Rogers, right over here, Rogers Design. And they are both very interesting options with very similar price range. In fact, the Montosa is going to be around $50–$60 and the Cuatro also around $50. They're both made in China. They're both liner locks. Both are sporting G10 scales. The size is going to be very similar. Maybe the Cuatro is a tad shorter than the Montosa, but overall they're going to be in the range of 7.75 inches when open. Blade also is very similar, measuring around 3.25 inches with the handle around 4.4 inches long. What is pretty different is the blade, because the Montosa is sporting a very cool modified ship's foot blade, and the Cuatro has a drop point blade going on. They both have a flat grind. They both are using 8CR13 MOV steel. They are both bead blasted as a finish employed to finish the blade, and another difference, is going to be that the Cuatro is sporting ball bearings pivot system, whereas there's no logo over here because, yeah, this is just using Teflon washers as a pivot system. So as you can see, from the closed position, you're gonna have two different looking knives for sure. I appreciate, for example, the cleanliness of the lines of the Cuatro. Look at this. You have no blade sticking out. You have this nice ending right over here, which is kind of like reprised, let's say, over here. I really appreciate the blade being flush with the scales, whereas here you have lots of things going on. It's a little bit more distractive, let's say, less clean than the Cuatro for sure, which, by the way, in Spanish means four. This is more classy look. This has a more rugged feel to it. And of course, main difference is that this is a flipper and this has just a thumb stud, like that opening mechanism, and that's why this guy is running on bearings, and that's why this guy is running on washers. So another difference right there. Also, as you can see, there's two thumb studs which are blacked out, which are giving like a nice contrast to the blade. You've got another couple similarities. For example, flat grind for both. They both have a swedge going on. The stock thickness is probably just a tad, I think. They look kind of like the same to me. Maybe this is a little bit, but no, probably they're the same. The bead blast finish is exactly the same. They have different pivot hardware color. This is more of a silver. It's not like really like a polished hardware like in this case of the Maven right over here. It's more like a matte finish to it, whereas in the case of the Montosa you just have this blacked out hardware. And of course, pivot color, blue, purple anodized over here both sides, and no pivot color over here in none of the sides. And also construction wise, you're gonna see clearly that the Montosa is sporting purple anodized aluminum backspacer with the lanyard hole integrated into it and some cutouts into the G10 to just expose the hole for the lanyard, whereas here the Cuatro is just employing a couple of standoffs plus a pillar right over there, kind of like a pin, where I'm assuming you can just run your paracord or whatever around that as a lanyard loop, I think. Also, of course, you've got drop point blade going on over here, modified ship's foot over here, but both are gonna display some kind of like maybe 30-40% belly over here and 30% belly right over here for the Quattro. Of course, this look is much cleaner than this one. You just have the flipper tab sticking out, whereas here you have just a blade sticking out and some other decorative things going on into the knife. If you turn it around, you're gonna see they both are sporting a deep carry pocket clip with a cutout for the axis, of course, of the screwdriver to disassemble this guy. And this guy is sporting, of course, a billboard, like some advertisement on the pocket clip right over here, CRKT. This guy is clean. This is a gentleman's knife. But in the hand, this guy is gonna present a little bit more hotspot because look at this clip ramp. This is pretty intense, and this is more gentle. It's softer angle, so it's gonna present less sharpness to the palm of your hand, so just keep that in mind. Also, they are both sporting some flush hardware in the pocket clip, so nothing is gonna be snagged when in and out of your pocket. They both have the same amount of springy tension in the pocket clip, so they're both pretty much good to go. Also, the weight is very similar. There, the Quattro is going to be weighing in at 3 ounces, and the Montosa is going to be 3.1 ounces, so just same thing basically. Also, the sound is going to be a little bit different because that's the Montosa and that's the Quattro. So it's similar, but it's a little bit different. Of course, like when you close it, very silent over here. And this is like a dampened and very muffled sound for the Montosa. Look at this. This is louder. Not by much, but I mean, it's different. The opening sound, I really dig the Montosa. It's a very deep sound, and I appreciate actually the thumb stud action going on with the Teflon washers. I mean, I don't despise this bearings flipping action, but there's something about this one that it's just it's calling me. So that's just me. Also, another difference is that the stock thickness, it's pretty good on the Montosa, whereas here it's kind of like thick. And look at the how this was sharpened up to the sharpening choil. It shows how thick behind the edge this blade is right at the end, because it's not too bad right over here, but here it just gets like pretty thick, and it's just something that you want to consider. So I think, yeah, basically this sums it up. And I mean, these are both very valuable options, especially for the price, guys. This is going to be $50, so it's pretty like a budget knife, and it's made with good quality materials, and I think it's engineered pretty nicely. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.